Cool. All right. Well, Karin, thank you for being open to coming on and sharing what your experience was like working with me. We worked together last summer, so a little over 6 months ago, 7 months ago, maybe.
Yeah.
So we've had quite some time, since we have last connected and everything. But yeah, the intention here is just to give people a sense of what it feels like, what EPT is like, since it's sort of hard to describe, even for somebody who's been involved in it for a very long time. I find that a lot of people everybody has a different way of talking about it. And yeah, just anything you want to share about working together. So overall, what it felt like for you, any takeaways, and maybe anything you wish you knew before diving into this work with me.
Okay. Sure. I'd be happy to. First, I'm honored that you asked me, because I'll tell you, I really didn't have that much knowledge about what EPT was, right? But I had knowledge about you. And so for me, as someone who was working through some of my past traumas and dramas, and is in the healing world also, I knew that one of the most important things to look for is to feel that you're working with somebody who has empathy, who cares, who holds a safe space, as they say. And clearly with you, I have always felt that. We've engaged in some other dynamics and some other work, and I felt comfortable saying, let's give this a whirl, because I knew I needed to unearth my shit. So, there's nobody else that I found that I resonated with like I did with you. And so I just opened up and allowed myself to trust in the process. And you made that an easy step, an easy decision for me to do.
Thank you. Yeah, I think I wanted to also give people a sense, or I'm curious, how you would describe how much inner work you've done and healing that you've done, because I tend to attract people who've already been pretty far along the process. However,
Yes.
I sometimes work with total newbies too. So it kind of is just interesting for people to hear, I think.
I think to engage in the EPT process, it's probably most helpful to have already established within yourself a level of awareness, a level of accepting your shit, that it exists and it's impacting you in a negative way. I'm sorry I keep using that word, but best
no,
one
it's
I
real.
can describe it. It's real. Mm-hmm. And so you really have to prepare yourself, emotionally, spiritually, because you get to your dark places, right? That's what it's about.
It takes courage.
It takes courage.
Yeah.
It does indeed.
Yeah. And that, it truly is, in my opinion, it truly is the willingness to go there. It's not, I have to know how to fix it. I have to know what to do. I have to know what it is. It's truly, I'm willing to look. I'm willing to go there. I'm willing to be led, along the journey that I need to be led. But that takes courage for sure. And that's just, and to be vulnerable, as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Very much so. I've had a journaling ritual in my life for many, many years. And so I guess from the perspective of kind of what additional tools a client may need to tap into, I would recommend to start to journal, because one, it'll help you process after the sessions. And your past journals may create awareness about what really some of the issues are that you want to uncover. So journaling is a helpful process. I also do meditation on a regular basis. And I think meditation practice has allowed me to be more open, to bring compassion to myself, whatever the circumstances, in that I can handle it. You know, I'm loved, I am loved. And you just kind of bring those elements with you as you do this deep unearthing, and those will serve you well, you know?
Yeah, I agree. 100%. A lot of journaling, journaling I think journaling is one of the most magical tools we have access
I
to.
think so too. You know me, I'm a writer, and I
You
love it.
are
I
right.
love it.
I know. So for people who are watching this, I offer Voxer support, which is a walkie-talkie app in between sessions. And Karin never joined for any Voxer.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm good. I got it. I journaled afterward. I'm good. I don't need, some people are verbal processors, some people
Yeah.
write. I
Right.
do a little bit of both, but always encouraging people to open a journaling practice if they haven't started one before. But yeah, so I want to ask, you are talking about deep unearthing. You've said that a couple of times. And I'm curious if you want to speak to that to whatever degree or level, because I think when some people hear, well, I know for me, when I first entered my healing journey from like a really conscious place, I was afraid of opening up Pandora's box, and that I was afraid it was going to feel just unbearable, and that it was also just going to be this never ending thing that it kind of is. And I know from the story of Pandora's box, what a lot of times doesn't get spoken about is that underneath it all is hope.
Right.
But the whole concept of, oh God, I'm going to open this up and like, I don't know what I'm going to find or if I'll ever be better or fixed. So I'm curious if you, would share a little bit about your
Sure.
perspective on that, as it relates to working together.
Yeah, sure. I knew the trauma issues that I suffered as a child and young adult. And so there was several of those, unfortunately, that I knew I needed to dig into, right, with you. But then through the sessions, there was some other stuff that came up that, like, wow, I had no idea. But I could see it and I could understand it. And you were able to kind of walk me through and connect the dots on some of these other issues that we keep in our body, we hold in our body. Even though our mind maybe forgets about it, it's still there. But one of the elements, how we did our sessions, which were, once a week, and then you had a couple weeks off, and that enabled me as a journaler to have time to process, to have time to really give it, combined with my meditation, to have time to really sit with it. And so that I could get to a point where, okay, I can bring forgiveness to the table. I can understand why I was functioning the way I was. And, the way you spaced it out, to me, I think was a perfect recipe, at least for me.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah. Trying to build in. When I first started building these containers, I was like, let's go. I'm Virgo rising. I am like, let's look, let's make your healing map. Let's check them all off. Let's go in order.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that really loves the system and structure. And the more that I've opened to this process and just hearing. And some clients will shift it to be bi-weekly sessions and extra time in between if needed, things like that. Whatever. Usually I can sense into if somebody needs more time to process, something. Or just, everyone works differently. We look at human design. We also look at your
That's
North
right.
Node. And so being able to kind of take all of those pieces together and create a tailored experience is part of what I like about it. Working in this sort of like chunk of time, that isn't just, all right, we're just meeting for like weekly therapy sessions. Like it's not, or at least I'm saying it's not like that. I hope it doesn't feel like that for you on your end, that we're just meeting to meet kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it worked out terrific. And, I think we all bring DNA traumas with us
Yeah.
from one generation to another. And we all have emotional DNA issues. And,
Yeah.
and I think knowing the human design aspect of it was a great marriage to meld, this EPT and the human design element together, for me as a client.
Yeah. Yeah. The goal for that, which I think is so interesting, or the goal for that is really to kind of, build that awareness of like, this is like my energetic blueprint. This is sort of how I, in my nature, move through the world with the most ease and flow, how I'm meant to be here. And so having that awareness, and then being in an EPT session, being able to like kind of work with your right brain and left brain at the same time, of like, we've got the emotional body here and we've got the logical mind, that kind of understanding the whole story from the logical mind helps to get your energy behind doing the emotional work.
Yes,
So that they
exactly.
can, really bloom. And that's one of my favorite things, being a very analytical person. And, as somebody who has a healthy dose of skepticism as well, like being able to see the story and the picture and, create those relations to, like you said, why I might be acting this way, showing up in the world or experiencing these things, seeing these things in my life that are painful, and like that I feel stuck in, and kind of like what's underneath that, to be able to what's underneath that, and what about that is not who I really am, and what can I release. One of my favorite quotes, I don't have it memorized exactly, but the idea around it is, this is like really cheesy, but also it's one of my favorite quotes, is it's what Michelangelo said about the sculpture of David. The idea that, he didn't go create David. He cut away what wasn't him,
What
and I
was the
just,
thing? Yeah.
and it's just this idea of like, releasing. It's not about like finding who I am. It's actually, let's look at what's here and what isn't actually me, and let's
Right.
release that.
Right.
Anyway, so if you are, let me see if there's anything else I want to ask. I think, well, yeah, is there anything that you wish you knew before signing up with me, or anything you would like, I don't know, warn anybody about? Or again, because we're talking about deep work, really just wanting this to be, this video to be helpful
Right.
for folks who are, trying to see what's the right thing for me right now.
Yeah. I think you just need to, everybody operates differently, right? And everybody resonates differently. Sometimes psychotherapy is terrific. Sometimes talk therapy just kind of doesn't do it. So you have to really, I think, have a pretty decent awareness about yourself
Yeah.
and how you operate, that you need to bring with you. For me, I had done the therapist couch. I had done the coaching realm. I had spent a good couple of years, doing a lot of the what I'll call prep work,
Mm.
And to even get to a place where, okay, I'm really ready to unbury this shit, to look at it and to transmute it and release it.
Yeah.
And so that's, I guess, would be probably my primary recommendation to anybody thinking to do this work. It does work. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
By being able to transmute those pains into the level of forgiveness, released for me all that stuff I was holding on to.
Yeah.
Didn't think I was, but I was.
Yeah.
And, you know, I guess that's what I would say. I don't know where
Yeah.
else I can wander off to here.
No. Thank you. And I just love hearing your perspective, especially having time away,
Yeah.
and not just being in it. When we're in it, we're in it. And yeah.
Oh, I know what I wanted to say. Tissues.
Oh, yes, I know. Not having a physical
Please,
office anymore. I don't have tissues
please
that I can
drink
give you.
lots of water and have tissues
Yes.
handy.
Yes.
And it's
There
good.
will be tears, honey.
There will be tears, and crying is a wonderful way of
Yes.
releasing. So that's
Yes.
how I'll end it.
Yeah, there will be tears. Actually, I do have a couple of clients, whenever I work with men in particular, but I do have some even female clients that are very tears averse. And so
Yeah.
it takes a very long time for that to happen. But what might happen instead are yawning, of course, and coughing.
A lot of yawning.
I remember one session with you in particular. It was like we were basically just like not talking. It was just yawning. I was like, hang on. But yeah, there's so many ways of release. And the work really meets your system, your body, where you are, will go as deep as you can go at the time that you're in. And I was very similar to you, had done a lot of prep work. I'd done the talk therapy route and found it to be like, I am really, like, again, very analytical and super self-aware. So it was like, that mirror back to me wasn't really what I needed. I wanted to, I was like, I see it. I want to go in there. I want to,
Right.
I
Let's go get it.
Yeah. I want to hold it. I want to see it up close. I want it to go away. I want to know what I need to do to really work with it. And yeah, that's how I was led to EPT for sure. Thank you again so much for
My pleasure.
hopping on with me. All right. Well, I'll close this out. And yeah, I think that's really just it. I didn't really think about how I'd close these little chats. If whoever is watching this, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me directly. And there's plenty of places on the site to be able to do that. And thanks for being here.
Terrific. Thank you.